How to get rich in 2025. We're going to get as close as we can to a step by step blueprint for real people like you. Financial freedom, isn't just for the elite. These practical steps can transform your financial future. This presentation is presented by me, Ted Morrow, and I just set this up with a little bit of trusty help from some AI. And so let's rock and roll. So, the first thing we want to do is build a financial foundation. You want to track your income. You need to know exactly what's coming in and what's going out. Any successful person has to know their numbers. So if you don't know your numbers, that's the first place to start. Figure out your income and figure out your outgo. And remember, if your outgo exceeds your income, your upkeep will be your downfall. Monitor your expenses and cut unnecessary spending. Most people can start going through what they're spending money on every month, start shaving things here and there, and come up with several hundred extra dollars that you could actually use to put to work for you. And as we go through this, I think you'll see that when you learn to put your money to work for you, you won't have to work so hard for your money. We want to eliminate debt. Let me move me out of the way here. If you have any major debt, definitely need to work on eliminating that, and something highly encouraged. If you need help with any of these things, that's one of my specialties, is working on all these things and helping you get through the obstacles. And then you want to find that expendable cash, just like we just talked about. Cut current bills out that you may not need. And we're going to look at ways to make extra money as well. But we need to find expendable cash. You need to set up your own bank. My go-to for anyone is Infinite Banking. It's using a dividend-paying whole life insurance policy, not one that you're going to just run down to your local insurance agent and find. Most agents don't know how to do this the right way. They're specialized. You need to dig into this and really know how to do it. Again, this is where I shine. This is what I do. I do this with my family, my friends, my extended family. I have helped a lot of people with this, and it's amazing when you wrap your head around it. You'll kick yourself in the butt for not doing it before, and you'll probably want to do it from this day moving forward. It really does give you a secure base for wealth building. It gives you cash value growth. There's major tax advantages. There's fairly aggressive accumulation for something that's safe with zero risk. And that's one of the things that I like the most. You basically can borrow against your cash value, but your money never stops growing. So that's amazing. You put the money in your own bank, your life insurance policy. You take a guaranteed policy loan. They loan you the money against the death benefit. The money that you put in stays compounding in your account and keeps growing and doubling. If you know the power of compound interest and how it works, you'll understand that's how money doubles. And you can access capital within about 30 days of starting the policy. When you make future payments, you can access capital within a few days of making the payment. I do it all the time in my community on school. I show people how I'm doing that myself. And we're about to start some really fun stuff on there in the next couple of weeks. This says intergenerational wealth. I just like to say generational wealth. If you know about the Rockefellers, when I first was exposed to infinite banking, I read a book called What Would the Rockefellers Do? And it talked about how the Rockefellers have passed on generational wealth for over 100 years, and they keep passing it from generation to generation, and they use dividend-paying whole life insurance and trusts. And that's just what we talk about in the Cash Flow Association, and that's my specialty, the first thing I recommend for anybody. So you want to create a legacy for your family and keep it going for generations to come. We want to acquire cash flowing assets. There's a lot of ways to get cash flowing assets. There's digital products, which would be like an ebook or maybe a video course, some kind of value maybe that you have that you can bring to the world. If you've never thought about it, something worth brainstorming about. If you know something that you've been paid for in your life, chances are you could turn it into your own business and be paid for it over and over again. Affiliate marketing, not sure if you know this, but affiliate marketing is a big business. Most companies have some kind of an affiliate program, including Walmart, the big chain stores. Everybody has an affiliate program. Amazon has an affiliate program. Some of those bigger ones don't pay as aggressively, and you need to make massive sales to make a lot of money. But there's some niche down specialized affiliate programs where you can do some amazing things. There's a new platform out here called School Online, and that's where I have my Cash Flow Association community. And I believe school is going to be something that it's a happening, and it's going on right now. It started in 2019, but it's just starting to hit momentum, and this is the time to be in school. Real estate, it's a great way to bring in some extra income. A couple of years ago, real estate would have been my go-to method, although some of the laws have been changing, and it's getting harder for landlords to make money because it's getting easier for people to stay in your house without paying the rent. And the law forces you to let them stay for quite a while. There's no repercussions if they tear up your house, and it's just kind of a frustrating ordeal these days. So real estate's no longer my number one choice as far as being a landlord. Now, owning real estate in different capacities, that's another thing. The hotel industry is kind of cool. Airbnbs are nice. Situations where people don't get to stay in your house for free forever, that real estate's still pretty good. The only thing you have to watch out for is like the Airbnb industry. Some cities are really bearing down on taxes and regulations. Some are even trying to ban the short-term rentals, or like the Airbnb or the hotel rental kind of things. One of my favorite things is dividend stocks. If you do this the right way, I feel like you almost eliminate the risk involved in the stock market, because I only purchase companies that have increased their dividend every year. They're strong companies. They're going up, not down. And I kind of like going that way because you don't really have to worry. You just sit back and collect your dividends. I have a little ninja twist that I put on dividend stocks, and I include it with selling some options. Bought a book a few years back called Be the Casino, Not the Gambler, and it definitely changed the way I invest in the stock market. I've been pulling up in the 20% returns on the stock market when I combine the dividend stocks with the strategy I use for selling options. And then you could collect royalties on things as well. It could be some kind of product that you develop or something that you produce, or maybe a company that you invest in, and you could earn royalties on a regular basis. So those are all things that we do in the Cash Flow Association as well. So we want to recycle and multiply money, and we want to borrow strategically, use good debt to acquire assets. We can put money in our infinite banking policy, turn around and take a policy loan, and then use one of my strategies in the stock market, or one of the real estate strategies, or the affiliate marketing, or a lot of other things that we have in our playbook. We want to keep repeating the process, create another stream of income after we get one established. We always want to invest wisely. Warren Buffett says never lose your principal. So you want to put your money somewhere where the principal is always safe and you know you're going to get it back. And as Mr. Wonderful would say on Shark Tank, when you send your money out there, you want him to come back with friends. So we want to focus on positive cash flow, invest wisely, and invest safely. And then we want to reinvest the profits. And that's the only way we're going to compound the returns. If we just go out and spend all the profits, we'll never be able to keep having that money build on itself and create true wealth. So to do all this, we have to rewire our mindset. I suggest some kind of daily reading, financial books that will expand your thinking. I think one of the first books everybody's read is Think and Grow Rich. One of the first ones that I was exposed to really when I got into the business world, when I got into financial planning, was called The Richest Man in Babylon. And I think that's really a great book that anybody should read. Read one a while back, another book by Napoleon Hill that just got released. I think it's called Outwitting the Devil. And that's definitely an interesting book. I listened to it on Audible, and it was kind of creepy, but definitely delivered a good message, something to think about if you have any kind of resistance going on in your life. I think that would be a good one. The other one that deals with resistance is called The War of Art. I know we all heard of the famous book, The Art of War, but this is called The War of Art. And it's definitely worth checking out and putting some thought into. You want to join masterminds, surround yourself with achievers, people who are doing what you want to do. I'm sure we've all heard your bank account will be about the same size as the 5 people you hang around the most. Don't take advice from broke people if you want to be rich. What did someone say? If you want to be rich, watch what poor people do, and don't do it. Do the opposite. And eliminate negativity. You want to guard your environment. You want to guard your mind. If you have people always talking about negative things and bringing you down mentally, get away from those people. I know sometimes it's tough if they're your closest friends, your family. You don't have to eliminate them from your life. You could certainly, though, migrate away from where you spend your time with them. Find some positive people to hang out with. We're creating that environment in the Cash Flow Association on School. And there'll be a link in the video where in the description. If you want to join us, it's free. And I'll invite you here to join us after you watch this rest of this video. We want to protect our growing wealth. We want to do, if we start at the bottom, we start with insurance coverage, protect against catastrophic loss. That would be insuring your home, having some kind of liability policy, having something that'll protect you on major health expenses. Do some estate planning, minimize taxes, maximize legacy. The cool thing about the infinite banking is if you don't have a whole huge estate and a bunch of different assets, you can almost use your infinite banking policy as your estate planning tool or mechanism as well. There's some really cool things we can do for seniors with the home that they may own that has equity, where we can free up a lot of cash flow, literally fund their infinite banking policy, and guarantee them a pretty stress-free life. We've helped some people in their 60s and 70s who thought they were broke and just barely getting by, but had some equity in properties, and we were able to literally almost 10x the value of them overnight and double or triple the cash flow that these people have to live on. Business entities, if you do have other cash flow streams, recommended to turn them into separate entities. That protects you from those personally. It separates them from each other, and it makes it much harder for someone to sue you and come after your money. And that leads right into the top of the pyramid, asset protection. We want to shield wealth from claims from other people. And we talk about all these things in the community. There's like-minded people doing the same, not all in the same business, but all having the same goals and dreams. Freedom, independence, being able to be proud, being able to be stress-free, not worry about where your next meal or your next tank of gas is coming from, not worrying about whether your light bill or your gas bill is going to get shut off at your house or the property taxes are going to get paid. So we need an action plan. Number one, you want to start today. Today is always the best time now. Wait until tomorrow just cuts you back another day. You need to begin tracking your finances immediately. You need to set up a 90-day sprint plan. Get your personal banking system established. Like I said, I say infinite banking, whole life, dividend paying whole life insurance with a mutual company that's been around a long time with policies designed just for infinite banking. And these are hard to find. There's a few agents around the country that specialize in it. I'm connected with most of them. And one of the things we do in the Cash Flow Association is guide you in the right direction on that. You want to set you up a 6-month milestone. Acquire your first cash flowing asset at least, at minimum. If you get on it, you could start acquiring cash flowing assets fast. Excuse me. Set a 1-year target to have multiple streams of income. And then, have a 5-year vision of actually being completely financially free. There's people in this school platform that are becoming financially free in 90 days. So it doesn't have to take 5 years. Anyway, like I said, there's going to be a link here in the description. Come join me in the Cash Flow Association on School. It's free. And let's continue what we started here. I appreciate you joining, and we will talk soon.